Field Yates just dropped a 2-round mock draft for ESPN. We're going to react to the Jets picks and tell you where he may have been right or wrong. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast, baby. And we appreciate you. We have a 2-round mock draft from Field Yates. A direct link to Field Yates mock draft is in the YouTube description down below if you'd like to follow along. And we'll give you the details. We'll tell you who he had picking for the Jets at 7 and 42. I'll tell you some players I would have had for consideration. Plus, I'll talk about some potential trade-ups based on where he had players going and why I might have traded up for a couple of these players. Plus, I'll tell you a positional group that we as Jet fans are not talking enough about that could be one of those picks. Without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, let's give a shout out to our boy Badshaw, Bubble Badshaw. I know he and his family were on tornado watch down there, so we were thinking about you. So for anyone that's dealing with any of that crazy weather down there, making sure you guys are safe and okay. That's super important. Also, let's randomly throw this in. Thank you, everyone. I see everyone in the chat. Ant Jets 82, Boy Green Coffee Club member, Alan, okay, Jared B, our moderator, Truman Dumel, Terrence Hill. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, baby, and feel free to join the Boy Green Coffee Club in the YouTube description down below. And like I said, make sure you do that. Here's our raffle for this month's contest. It is a draft day spectacular. The New York Jets official 2025 draft hat, the New York Jets official 2025 draft shirt, and the movie Draft Day on Blu-ray, all available to you. Again, to be eligible to win all of these prizes, one person will win this. You just have to submit raffle tickets throughout the month. You can do that by submitting super chats. You can also do that as well by doing memberships, gifting, and things of that nature. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the money sign. The final option is gifting channel memberships. This will go to one lucky person. Again, normally we do our giveaways throughout an entire month, but I want you guys to have this before the draft. So April 15th will be our last day for you guys to submit raffle tickets, and then we will select a prize winner the very next day. So I wanted to throw that out there in the universe. All right, let's get into this mock draft. Let's get into this mock draft right now. And with the 7th overall pick in the first round of this ESPN Field Yates mock draft, the New York Jets select Armand Membou, offensive tackle out of Missouri. Now, this isn't a surprise. This has been a very popular mock draft pick for the New York Jets. And here's what Field Yates had to say in his little blurb on this pick. Quote, the free agent signing of Justin Fields means the Jets have a quarterback solution for at least 2025, but the loss of Morgan Moses in free agency means they have a hole at right tackle. New York already had pass protection issues, finishing 23rd in pass block win rate last season, which was 57.1%. Membou had a meteoric rise in 2024 as the 20-year-old dominated the SEC with tenacity, elite movement skills, and pass protection proficiency. He could be a tone setter up front, joining Olu Fashanu to give New York a pair of young, talented offensive tackles. And I'll say this, I wouldn't be mad at this. This is one of those ones that I said that if this ends up being the pick, I'll be quite satisfied. Armand Membou played right tackle in college. He would play right tackle in the NFL. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So this is the pick by Field Yates in this mock draft scenario. And look at this, baby. DNY for life, gifting a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you. Hit it. Boom Shakalaka, Devin, a.k.a. DNY for Life, now has 10 raffle tickets so far this month, which is in second place. J-Boy has the most at 11. DNY for Life, Devin now has 10. Appreciate that. Here are the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. That's Allison Tuckwab, William Shat in her. Very nice. Joe Bloom Jets, Chris Grosso, Jets fan since birth. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Baby, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. And thanks, Devin. DNY for life. Here are the other 3 players. These are players that went after the Jets pick at 7 that I also would have considered. Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State, no surprise. He ended up falling in this mock draft 14th overall to the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have been rumored for tight ends forever. So Tyler Warren is someone else I would consider. Again, get our Warren Warriors out of here. See, Penn State Joe's in here talking about it. Thank you very much. Yep. Again, he would have been in consideration for me at this pick. I do agree, Taylor Sterling, that Membu and Fashanu does have a nice ring to it. Young offensive tackles, that'd be great. Another one in consideration, I'm not as high on this player, but I know a lot of Jet fans are. Tet McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. He ended up slipping to the Dallas Cowboys at pick 12th overall. So there you go. Tet McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. And then here's the other one that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, but I just sort of want to throw it out into the universe. Mike Green, the pass rusher out of Marshall, who led college football in sacks this past season with 17 sacks. I'm telling you, Mike Green, and you could throw, I guess, Jalen Walker, who doesn't have the sack production, but people are pretty high on. That's another pick that I would have considered at 7 overall. We'll get more into that later. At 3 o'clock today, we're going to be doing, me and Woody will be revealing our top 5 needs for the New York Jets heading into the 2025 NFL Draft. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up live at 3 o'clock. And I'll be talking about that edge rusher position. It should be higher than people say for the New York Jets. But Mike Green's another one I would have considered there potentially at 7th overall that I don't think people are talking enough about. But most of them are the options we all talk about. Tyler Warren, Tet McMillan, Armand Membu. Makes a lot of sense. He was there as well. And no Mason Graham on the board for those who were asking. Mason Graham, unfortunately, was long gone before the Jets got the pick. Mason Graham went 5th overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's been basically written in permanent marker for some time. Now let's go to the second round here. Let's go to the second round. Let's put that one up. And then I'll talk about some more stuff here about players I may have traded up for and other players I would have considered in the second round. We'll work all over the place here. With the number 42 overall pick in Field Yates mock draft for ESPN, the New York Jets select LSU tight end Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor was the second round pick. Again, another very popular mock draft selection. This is a guy earlier in the process. I think a lot of us were like, ooh, we could get him in the 3rd round, but his stock has risen dramatically. And he's been more in that 2nd round range. So if the Jets want him, they may have to invest a premium resource. He is the son of Jason Taylor. And I just found out from Field Yates, he is also the nephew of Zach Thomas. I went, oh, okay, there you go. There's another one there. Mason Taylor, I like a lot. I loved what I saw at the combine. He looks so fluid through the drills. You look at the analytics, you look at the numbers, you look at the body, the size, the weight. There's a lot to like about Mason Taylor, for sure. Here's the little blurb that Field Yates had on Jets getting Mason Taylor with the 42nd overall pick. Quote, I considered Tyler Warren for the Jets at 7 before going with Membu, so picking Taylor 1 round... God bless myself. I've been doing that a lot on the show lately. So picking Mason Taylor, 1 round later makes sense to fill Hall at tight end. He has exceptional hands and can handle inline blocking duties, which, by the way, I think is an important piece of the puzzle for the New York Jets. So we had them going Mason Taylor at 42nd overall. Before I get into any potential trade scenarios, and Jerby says, I like all those picks. I'm going to be honest, I like them too. If that was the first 2 rounds for the Jets, I don't hate it at all. Don't hate it. You get a right tackle, that's a need. You get a tight end, that's a need. Bing, boom, bam. Okay, both immediate starters for the Jets. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Dade, speaking my language with my boy from Syracuse, Rondé Gadsden, is a wonderful player. NFL bloodlines as well. His father played in the league. Here are the other players I would have considered at 42 overall. There are two players here that were also available when Field Yates made this pick for the Jets. So these are players that he could have also picked, but he did not. Okay. Elijah Arroyo, the tight end out of Miami. This guy is dynamic if we're going to talk about tight ends. And this is one we haven't talked about a lot, and shame on me because I've been talking about other tight ends, Terrence Ferguson, Harold Fannin Jr., Tyler Warren, obviously, we've talked a lot about on this show. Gunnar Helm out of Texas. Like, man, we have talked about a cajillion options at tight end. One option we haven't talked about at all on this program, quite frankly, is Elijah Arroyo. Another possibility here that I would have considered at 42 overall with them getting Armand Membu in the first round. Then you go over here to the second round. Elijah Arroyo is dynamic. Now, there's durability concerns. That's an issue. But Elijah Arroyo would have also been in consideration here for me at 42. And here's another one. Again, goes back to what I said in the first round. I want to go to this guy. JT Tuimoloau, the edge rusher out of Ohio State. Again, one more time, another guy I would have considered here is JT Tuimoloau out of Ohio State. He's a very, very talented guy that I think has a lot of potential as well. I think he has a lot of potential. Here's what Field Yates said about JT, who went a couple picks later. Where did he have JT ended up going? Yeah, later in the second round. Quote, there are a few players in this class whom I have more confidence in being ready to play as a rookie than Tuimoloau. His power and pass rush savviness would improve the front of Buffalo was the specific, team he had them mocked to. But this kid is a real talent. He's 6'4", 265 pounds, 33 3/4 inch arms, 10.5 hands. A top 5 prospect, Polynesian high school player of the year back in 2021. He is just really, really talented. Here's some more from Lance Zierlein on this guy. This is a guy that we haven't talked about at all on this show. Quote, rugged edge rusher with size, length, and toughness to play up or down and hybrid fronts. Tuimoloau plays to his size. His game revolves around power and force. He uses well-timed strikes and good length to stay separated and shed the block cleanly. He plays hard, has average pursuit quickness outside the box, and trouble holding his ground against drive blockers in line. Tuimoloau's power rush helped him tear through the expanded college football playoff with 6.5 sacks over the 4 games. His rush plan and handwork need some refinement to maintain the momentum he built as a rusher during this past season. He's unlikely to become a star, but his traits and demeanor fit the profile of a good NFL starter. And hey, if you could get a good NFL starter around 2, I'm telling you, JT Tuimoloau, edge rusher out of Ohio State. I want to try to get into some more names that we haven't talked about throughout this draft process. So that's the sort of thing I would have considered. So those are the 2 players I would have considered that were still on the board. Again, Elijah Arroyo, tight end out of Miami, and JT Tuimoloau, the edge rusher out of Ohio State. Those would have been up for grabs. And I will also talk about the trade-up options. There's a bunch of players that went between 7 and 42 that I love for the Jets, that I think are realistic potential trade-up targets. We'll get into that in just a moment. But the 2 picks for Field Yates were Armand Membu, offensive tackle out of Missouri, and Mason Taylor, tight end out of LSU, with 7 and 42 for the first 2 Jets picks. Again, we'll get more into that a little bit later. Let's go to a super chat here. Forged Through Faith, a super chat coming in. Every time we get a YouTube super chat here on the channel, we hear from my very beautiful daughter, Zariah Luna.
Wow.
Forged Through Faith, thank you so much for the super chat. You just got yourself a raffle ticket for that big draft giveaway we just talked about. So appreciate you. Thank you so much. And let me put you down here for that. And some change. You're also $1 away from one more raffle ticket. You guys, Forged Through Faith, you can send that before we get to the 15th of April and get yourself another raffle ticket at some point. But here's the comment. This fan base might implode if we pass on Warren, and he has a Bowers-type rookie year. I think it's another divisive topic, to be honest, Forged Through Faith. I think there are the Warren Warriors, which shout out to you guys, Sharon and Penn State Joe. And I'm a Warren Warrior. I love Tyler Warren. I would love that pick. But I know there's a lot of Jet fans that don't want it. Again, they either think the tight end position is just not a top 10 pick, they think Brock Bowers was an outlier. Like, hey man, like, yeah, sure, he was good, but like that doesn't change the opinion of some other Jet fans about taking a tight end that high. They still probably have Kyle Brady nightmares, the Warren Sapp Kyle Brady thing from a bunch of years ago. So I don't know if they implode if we pass on Warren. I know the Warren Warriors, depending on who the other pick is, might get angry. And I want to make this clear. If the Jets don't take Tyler Warren at 7, that's not an automatic for me. Geez, they blew the draft. Like, if they don't take Tyler Warren, but they take Armand Membu, I'll be like, oh, okay, I sort of see it. And I like the depth of the tight end class. I could understand that decision. Or who's another? Mason Graham. If somehow he was there, you took Mason Graham over Tyler Warren, I would totally understand that. Makes a ton of sense. Now, I think there will be a lot of angry people, right? I said another player I would consider at 7th overall is Mike Green, the pass rusher out of Marshall, had 17 sacks last year. If the Jets go in that direction and pass on Warren, I think a lot of people will be upset. But to your point, I think it'll be results-oriented, right? So regardless of what the reaction is immediately in the draft, let's fast forward a bunch of months, and Tyler Warren's blowing it up, and the Jets have Dick at tight end. Oh, boy. We could have some issues. We could have some legitimate issues. So that's fair. Those are all fair points. But appreciate the super chat. Fords Through Faith. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. Yes. Amen. I appreciate that. All right, here's some trade-up targets, okay? These guys, so I want to throw this out there. And again, thank you for the super chat. Continue to send those in, by the way, on YouTube. Those will be priority comments and replies. Plus, you get raffle tickets for those as well to spin the conversation forward. So here's a couple of players, and I'll give you where they went in the draft and basically why I would consider, if I'm the Jets, these names. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 names here. 5 names that went somewhere between 7 and 42 that I think are realistic for the Jets. And most of them were the back end of the late first round, early to mid second round. So let's go to pick 29. Nick Emanwari, the safety out of South Carolina, went with the 29th overall pick. The Jets have one safety in Andre Cisco, and I like Cisco a lot, but he's only on a 1-year deal. Tony Adams, he's sitting out there in the ethos as a restricted free agent. He has not signed his tender yet, from what I understand, so that's floating. Eventually, he will sign that, but is he a locked-in starting safety? I think he will compete. So the Jets don't have a long-term answer at the safety position, long story short. If Nick Emanwari falls into that range for the Jets, which, again, pick 29 to me would be within range of the Jets going, now, wait just a second here. Should we try to do something here? And remember how the old regime considered safety, where they were getting undrafted free agents and random veterans like LaMarcus Joyner, to what this new regime feels. I think there's going to be a dramatic difference here, quite frankly. And Nick Emanwari blew the barn doors off the combine, ran a 4.38 40, 220 pounds, jumped 43-inch on the vert. You see that explosiveness that certainly comes into play. He took 2 of his 4 interceptions to the house this past season. Nick Emanwari, baby. He would be on my list. He went pick 29. Jets don't have any long-term safeties there as well. So that would make a lot of sense. Charles says, I like that hat, Paul. Thank you. This is one of my favorite hats I have. This is an old Jets hat. I know it's the old logo, but it's one of my favorite Jet hats I have. There's a few that I like. I'm a big Jets hat collector. Joe says, very deep safety class. We're not looking to round 5. I would say this. It's an interesting debate, and by the way, we're going to have a bonus show coming up later this week. Trevor Sikkema, our PFF's lead NFL draft analyst, will be joining me on my show for a live Friday afternoon show. Hopefully, you guys can check that out. And one of the questions I'm going to ask Trevor, I imagine, Joe, is about the depth. When you have a position that's deep, right, safety, tight end, defensive tackle, things of that nature, does that automatically mean you don't take the guy that's at the top of the pile, like Tyler Warren, for instance? Well, there's a lot of tight ends, so I'll take someone else, not named Tyler Warren. I'll wait. Defensive tackle, I'll wait. There's a lot of other guys. But are those other guys and who the top guy is, how big is that gap? I think that's a conversation to think about. So I think that's something to think about. Truman Dumel, baby, appreciate your super chat coming through on here.
Wow.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let me put that down for you. Okay, beautiful. You have one raffle ticket, and you're $1 away from another raffle ticket, Truman Dumel. So highlight. You don't have any comment attached here, but I'll go to some of your earlier comments and address those. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Appreciate it. All right, let me see. Let me get some of yours up here, Truman. All right. And then, like I said, I'll get back into some more trade up candidates I have on my list here. And I'm going in chronological order. Okay. I know I just saw something from you, Truman. Okay. Yes, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Like I said, I put that down for you. How about Benjamin Morrison and Xavier Watts? Again, first off, Notre Dame guys, that's always a plus in my book, and we need help in the defensive secondary. Xavier Watts would make a lot of sense. Now, I wonder how he fits because Cisco's a ball hawk, Xavier Watts a ball hawk. I love having multiple ball hawks. How they fit as a safety tandem together is interesting. Drew, who is our new draft guy, joins us every Monday on the show. He talked about that he thinks it's a brilliant fit. So, yeah, sure, Xavier Watts would be in contention at 42. Benjamin Morrison, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to do it, the Jets have their quarterback situation sort of figured out. Again, if they want to take a depth guy, that would make sense. It would surprise me if they take a corner within the first 3 rounds of the draft. Quite frankly, maybe the first 4 rounds of the draft. It would surprise me because you got Sauce. Okay, you're going to pay him. Michael Carter II, you're already paid. Brandon Stevens, you just paid on a 3-year deal. You have Quantes, who I like a lot. I don't know how the staff feels about him. You lost Brandon Eccles, so you could still use another one of those kind of quarters. Jerk Bernard Converse in the conversation. So Benjamin Morrison, I think, will be a very nice player for somebody. I don't think that ends up being for the Jets, Truman, to be candid. I like Xavier Watts a lot, though, and I'm a Golden Domer Notre Dame guy because of my dad. So, but I like the thoughts. I like the thoughts. Thank you so much for the super chat coming in. Thank you. Yes, sir. All right, here's some other guys. Thank you, Truman. Kenneth Grant, and I'm seeing this more and more. Is this real? Is he really slipping and sliding? At one point earlier in the mock draft process, okay? And by the way, G Sunkar says, everyone hit the like button, baby. Damn straight. That's a free way to contribute to today's show, baby. Please. Yes, let's do it. Like the video, hit subscribe. Kenneth Grant keeps falling to like the late first round, second round in Field Yates mock draft. And Field Yates is really plugged in. He's a former scout. He has a former NFL personnel background. He's got connections all across the league. Kenneth Grant keeps falling. At one point earlier in the mock draft season, people were talking Kenneth Grant at 7 for the Jets, and now he's fallen to 34 in this mock draft. What are we doing? If he is available, right? So for folks who don't know, the draft is 3 days. Day 1, the first round, Thursday night, first round, that's it. Day 2, second and third round, right? Friday night, second, third round. Then there's obviously breaks, right? Thursday night, first round, break. Next day, second, third round. Friday night, break. Next day, 4th through 7th, day 3. Like, if Kenneth Grant is on the board at the beginning of day 2, I'm the Jets. I am picking up the cell phone. I'm calling up everybody. I'm calling up all kinds of teams to say, oh, can we crack a deal? Can we make something happen? I'm calling the Browns. I'm calling the Giants. I'm trying to make some calls, man, because Kenneth Grant at 331 pounds, 3 sacks, 5.5 TFLs last season. I mean, this is exactly what the doctor ordered at defensive tackle. And if you could get whoever you want, right? Let's say it's Tyler Warren. Let's say it's Armand Membu. Who gives a flying who? Either one would be great, right? You take one of those two guys. Then you come back in the second round, get a little aggressive on a trade-up package, get Kenneth Grant, plug and play, get some trench warfare happening there. Okay. We're cooking, baby. That's one of my favorite trade-up targets. If he starts slipping and sliding how a lot of people believe he will, okay. Give me some Kenneth Grant action, baby. Unbelievable. Here's another guy. This is a guy that we haven't talked about on the show at all, right? Kenneth Grant, we've talked about him. Nicky Manwar, we talked about him. Tyler Warren, sure. Tet McMillan, yes. Donovan Ezaraku, the edge rusher out of Boston College. Again, I've been bringing up a lot of pass rushers on the show. This is a guy we haven't talked about anywhere near enough. And I'm telling you, I think this guy could be an option for the New York Jets, and I think pass rusher is a bigger need than anyone else is talking about here. So give me some Donovan Ezaraku action, who had like 16.5 sacks this past season, wildly productive, 6'2.5", 248 pounds, 34-inch arms, 9.25 hands. I mean, this guy is a talented freak of nature, for goodness sake. I mean, Look at the production this past season. Ranked second in the FBS, 16 and a half sacks. Third with 20 and a half tackles for loss. He led the team with 3 forced fumbles, played in 12 games, 11 starts, 80 tackles at PBU. He ended up not playing in the bowl game. He's a team captain. What about this friggin' guy? Here's some more on him. Quote, slightly undersized outside linebacker for a 3-4 front with long arms plus athleticism. Ezeraku uses every bit of his length paired with aggression to mitigate size differences at the point of attack. That's from Lance Erline. He gets engulfed at times, but typically separates from or slips blocks cleanly. Quick off the snap, bend in ability to win at the top of the rush or make stops in the backfield. His hands exploit small advantages to turn them into big ones and has a variety of ways to challenge protection. He's still learning to craft his plans, but Ezeraku's play demeanor, skill, and athletic talent are the underpinnings of a productive starter with 3-down value. Some Donovan action here. Ezeraku, baby. He's circle that one we haven't talked about, people. I'm telling you, pass rusher is one. Circle one at pick 35 in this mock draft. He's a very talented kid out of Boston College. And here's one that's one of my favorites. These next two names we're all very familiar with. Very, very familiar with. Emeka Ibuka, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, going pick 39. What are we doing here, baby? What are we doing? That is a massive trade-up candidate and should be for the Jets. And jumping up from 42 to 39 is not a big jump at all. At all. And here's some more on Emeka Ibuka. He set the Ohio State record for catches, 205, and is a great route runner. I love route runner. I love that he's just a number 2 receiver. He's plug and play. You know exactly what he is. You bring him in, and you feel good about it. Emeka Ibuka at pick 39 in this mock. I'm doing a mini trade up for him. It's costing you like nothing. Nothing. Now you have the Ohio State boys back together. Got Garrett Wilson, got Emeka Ibuka, got Justin Fields, got Josh Myers, got all these Ohio State boys all over the place. And again, you just know what he is. Another potential trade-up candidate that I would consider here from pick 42 moving up in this Field Yates mock draft. And the last one, again, we've talked about it a lot, but Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State, he ended up being pick 40 in this mock draft. Not available for the Jets to just straight-up pick, so they'd have to trade up. 6'4", ran a 4.47 40-yard dash. He had 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns last season. I mean, come on, man. Size, relative speed there, like, as a 4.4 guy, that combination excites me. So, again, guys I would consider as potential trade-up options, certainly in this mock draft. And, again, Field Yates is incredibly plugged in. These are guys I'd consider. Nicky Manwari, the safety out of South Carolina. Kenneth Grant, interior defense lineman out of Michigan. Donovan Ezeraku, the edge rusher out of Boston College. Emeka Ibuka, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State. This is a group of dudes. Dudes. I'm telling you, man. Feeling pretty good about that group. There you go. There's a mock draft. There's some trade-ups I would do. Some other things I would consider. Yeah, baby. I love doing this. We haven't done this much as cycle where, someone prominent like Field Yates' mock draft, we react to it. And I love doing that exercise. I love writing those pieces. I did not get a chance to write that for Heavy.com, but I love doing these kinds of pieces. Super fun. Love doing them. Love talking draft, talking shop, and talking about options for the green and white, the New York Jets. By the way, speak of the devil, we are exactly 3 weeks away, baby. 3 weeks away from our live draft show, which will be Thursday, April 24th, 3 weeks from today. Starts at 8 o'clock right on the button, and then it'll be going till after midnight. It'll be a 4+ hour live stream. Phone lines will be open. You guys can call in as fans. We'll have guests on the show. Hop on Pop's going to be there for a segment. James Woody's going to be there for a segment. We're going to have Jericho Cotchery, former Jet, on the show. That's going to be amazing to talk about his draft day story. He'll be able to answer some of your guys' questions. I'm trying to lock in times for all of our guests, and we're going to have many more guests beyond that. Some NFL insiders, some analysts, a little bit of everything. So I can't wait for that. Again, 3 weeks from today. You guys, if you go over to my YouTube live stream right now, go to YouTube, hit the live section. You'll see there's a big video already for it. You guys can like that video right now, submit questions ahead of time, and do anything and everything you want to do. I can't wait for that show. It is going to be amazing. Speaking of amazing, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, baby. We're about to open up the phone lines here on the program. That is youtube.com/BoyGreen25. We're also streaming live on Heavy on Jets, the Facebook page, my employer. Shout out to Heavy. And also on Twitter @BoyGreen25 as well. But if you'd like to call in, you'll have to do so by jumping over to YouTube, for that conversation. Quick cap song. Boy Green Daily continues after this.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Let's go. The phone lines are now open. That is youtube.com/boygreen25. If you'd like to call into today's show, feel free to do so, baby. We appreciate you. And let's roll. Let's get some action happening here on today's program. It's going to be a real hoot, baby. I can't wait for it. That'll be absolutely brilliant from that perspective. So let's add this on here. Let me start the, yep, that's in. That's live. Beautiful. All right, let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines. Up first, we got Hep here on the program. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul, I just wanted to give you an update on the Charles situation.
Oh, please do. Yeah, what happened now?
All right. So Nick Shine and some other guy, I forgot his name. Who's actually, he does this for a living. He goes after people, scammers and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they all teamed up. They went to his father. They had gotten everything from him. They got his banking information. They got his social security card.
Jesus.
He lost about $700-800 or something like that. And then, but it's okay because what happened was Jake put it out there and he says, if you want to donate to the to Charles and just go directly because this way YouTube doesn't get a piece of it. You know?
Correct. Right. Yeah.
And they got all his money back already.
Oh my God. It just goes to show you the power of our Jets community. So hopefully, and Charles hopefully has a really good support system around him so this doesn't happen again, but that's incredibly scary, but awesome for him that he was able to get it back because I know a lot of people that encounter that situation never get anything back. So, that's good for Charles. I'm happy for him.
They prey on the elderly, and people who are a little challenged, and it's really disgusting, right?
It's sick. I used to, one of my other jobs, I don't ever talk about this job, but I used to work at a grocery store for 4 years. I started off as just some slappy cashier, and I just sort of worked my way up, and eventually the highest position I held was in the office department. So I was in the office department, and one of the things we did in the office is Western Union. And we would have, and you think like it's fake, right? So we all make this joke, right? Hey, that prince in Nigeria that needs your help.
Yeah,
You think it like, ha, ha, ha. And who would believe that? And I had this old man or old woman, I can't even remember, who came in and they gave me this Western Union because, like, I verify the information before I put it through the system and take their money. And I'm like, Nigeria, huh? Who do you know over there? And like sometimes people could get a little aggressive when you're asking about their business. But like when I see stuff like that, it's a red flag to me. Like, are these people getting yammed over here?
Yeah,
and,
you okay?
And we were able to stop it. It was a scam and it was bad. But again, those are the very small stories. Unfortunately, so many slipped through the cracks. But I was able to say, right? They said, or oh man, some police officer called in Alabama. My son got in a horrible car accident, and I had to wire immediately $10,000 over to cover the thing. And I'm like, whoa. Like, let's take a step back. When people, when you get an urgent request, you need to verify information. You need to say, hey, let me call someone on a number I know is good to confirm. And then you're like, oh, geez, this was all fake malarkey. So, man, I heard so many horrible stories. It's disgusting, but obviously quite prevalent. I haven't worked at that place in like 11, 12 years or something. And that was happening back then and obviously still happening now. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you. See you on the rebound.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, good. It's good to hear positive stories coming out of that for our guy in Charles. So that's good. Yeah. But again, a lot of people fall for that kind of stuff. Appreciate you, Terrence. The Boy Green Coffee Club draft party, baby. It's going to be awesome. So you guys feel free to enjoy, call in. It's going to be a good show. I can't wait for that. It's going to be a real treat. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got EZ here on the program, baby. What's up, EZ? Good morning.
Speaking of scammers, somebody tried scamming me the other day. They sent me a text saying, we want to verify, we turned down your payment for $459 to this place. Please call us and let us know if this was your thing. And what you do is you call. I did it the first time about 2 years ago. I just called up and they wanted my card number. I go, you already have it. You turned it down. What do you need my card number for? And then they just hung up.
Yeah, those bastards.
And here's the thing: the IRS and Social Security will never call you. They'll send you a letter. They will only call you if you have contacted them and are waiting for a response. But they will never initiate contact over the phone lines. So if any of our older viewers, have anybody from the IRS or Social Security contact them and they hadn't made a prior contact, no, it's bullshit.
100%. And I would always just, again, verify. We have this at my work, my radio station. We have security trainings. And if there's an urgent request, you double check it a different way. Walk down to the guy's office down the hall. You call the number you know is good. Just do an extra level of verification because, folks, obviously sometimes these are real things, right? Your kid could get in a car accident somewhere and it's an actual emergency. But what does it hurt to verify it? You just make sure that it's 100% right. That's the right thing to do.
Someone asks you for 5 figures, you don't just blindly give it to them.
I hope not.
I wouldn't give him $50. Nope.
Exactly, right, But
yeah, we got to look out for our parents too. My mom's 91, but my mom is smart, so she didn't have to worry about that crap.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, smart as
my mom will say, "You're kidding. Goodbye."
Yeah, there you
She's
go.
She's at least polite.
Good on Mama Easy. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, we got the draft coming up. That's going to be some fun, huh?
Yeah, I can't wait. It's 3 weeks. I didn't even realize that till I just said it for the draft show. We're 3 weeks from today exactly. 3 weeks away.
Man.
Yeah.
It's like I would love.
Because I enjoy this pre-draft process. This process
that's
is
our
fun.
Super Bowl. We're the Jets. That's our Super Bowl.
And then it's over. Like, again, the good news is immediately in May, right, a couple weeks later, we're talking about the schedule. That's sort of fun. On April 7th, we're 4 days away. The Jets are going to report for voluntary workouts. So a big chunk of their players are going to be at the building. So that'll be some more content and things. So, we're going to get some more stuff. But, I really enjoy the draft.
Yeah. I had something I was going to talk about. I'm trying to regurgitate it. This new coaching staff. I'm kind of sensing something with the way Aaron Glenn is approaching the media and all the stuff. I just got this gut feeling we're kind of getting a little bit of Parcells 2.0. He's been very Parcells-like. Hasn't he?
His answers. Yeah, I've certainly.
I've noticed that. Remember, I told you I never get football jerseys for a quarterback because I don't trust quarterbacks in the draft.
Sure.
Parcells had this motto or this philosophy that he never ever drafted a quarterback unless he was at least a senior.
Yeah, right. He had a bunch of rules. I think Dylan Terraman talked about that like a month ago. There's like experience. You mentioned it. There's like a winning program. There's a lot of rules. I don't know if I'll be able to find those live on the show here, but yeah, he had a lot of rules.
Record against top 25 teams like you were talking about with Sanders.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was that good against top 25 teams. So that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I got a little bit more respect for the kid.
Yeah.
But I just thought, I'm not an avid draftnik.
Okay, here are by the way, I was able to find it out. Here are the Bill Parcells rules according to the internet for drafting quarterbacks. You emphasize experience and leadership, focusing on players who are 3-year starters, graduating seniors, have a strong record with a good touchdown interception ratio and high completion percentage. So, I know there's even more advanced analytics now for different passing stats so you can factor in for
basically he's looking for the unicorn every time.
Yeah, most of it translates, so.
But it does. I mean, he would have, as much as I think the worst thing Zach Wilson did was coming out early. I think he hurt himself coming out early. Or he should have gone into the transfer portal and gone to another team and see if he could reproduce that on a higher level team. I think that would have helped him to have a more rounded, because he has the skills. That's the thing. Kid has the skill set. If he ever figures it out, he's going to be a very dangerous quarterback. And I'm not trying to be like a truther. Move. Get the needle out of your arm, butthead. God, he was even in Park.
I would say this on Zach Wilson. It worked. It didn't. It hasn't worked out long term. Maybe he's going to turn around in Miami. Who knows? But where he was the number 2 overall pick, so he got a bag of money. That part worked out, but the long term future obviously hasn't. Maybe more time in college. Good things come to those who wait.
But who wants to be a one season, a one hit wonder? You want to? I mean, if I was going to be quarterback in the NFL, I would definitely want to be successful.
Sure.
I wouldn't be doing it for a bag of cash. Although, if I wanted to do it for a bag of cash, I would do it the way DeMarcus Russell did it. Totally do it just for a bag of cash.
Oh my God! And in those days, you didn't have the rookie wage scale, right?
They didn't have
$60 million. Purple drink.
And he just went, "I'm going to the bank and not getting my brain scrambled."
And that worked like a champ. So shout out
for
to
him, not so much for the Raiders.
Which, by the way,
man.
Yeah,
Take care.
I appreciate it, EC. Thank you so much, pal. Thanks for the call. I will say, Jamarcus Russell, here's a terrible thing that happened. Speaking of Jamarcus Russell and why that even came up, but Jamarcus Russell apparently, stole something from like his high school. Like he said, "Hey, give me." He was a volunteer coach or something for his high school. I read the story. You guys can Google it. And he took a check that was supposed to go to their weight room or something, and then he cashed it himself. And like, oh God! And that now he got like banned from his high school. Like, Jesus, like what's going on, Jamarcus Russell? There you go, a Jamarcus Russell story. Who would have thought that on an April 3rd Jet show? Not you. Let's go back to the phone lines, baby. We've got the legend himself, Dave Briga, joins us here on the program. What's up, Dave? Nope. Dave. All right. Let me. Whoop, Dave. Dave, it looks like you're having some technical issues there. So, Dave, you may have to back out and try to come back in to see. There's something going on there with your camera. Purple Drank. Yo, Home said Purple Drank happened to Jamarcus Russell. Okay, I think Dave says he's back. Dave? Still no Dave. Sorry, Dave. Here, I'll try to kick you from the studio and see if you can come back in. Feel free. Again, that is the pinned comment. That's youtube.com/boygreen25. Feel free to call in. He says, having problems. I see it, Dave. No worries. We'll try to get you on the show, pal. Let me see. I'll wait a second to make sure you're up. I think we got him. All right, Dave.
Oh, good morning, Paul. How are you this morning?
Excellent. Thank you.
Coming off a fresh loss at Tuloski yesterday. I got blown out.
Yeah.
Got blown out, Paul. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? He's a great caller. So
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, I've been close to Penn State here for years. I live in their backyard, probably 125 miles. Anyway, I'm always leery of drafting Penn State players. I know we had one last year. I totally forgot. I put in the chat. I said we always had difficulties with the number 1 draft, like Blair Thomas and
sure,
Kyle Brady. I never forget those drafts that those guys were drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Blair Thomas. We had an old GM, Dick Steinberg, and in that year, 1990, Blair Thomas was wild at the end of the year.
The Senior Bowl, I believe. Yeah, right. Yeah,
and he got so lifted up, it was unbelievable. What they drafted? Number 2 overall.
Number 2. Yeah, 1990, I believe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then Brady. What happened is Warren Sapp got blackballed. Mm-hmm. Remember Warren Sapp? I don't know if you're probably too young. Warren Sapp was sitting there. They kept on showing him on ESPN.
People were chanting Sapp. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was, and every time it's, and hopefully this fashion works out, but I'm always leery because Penn State offensive players, and with Franklin down there, Franklin is not a good coach. He's just not a good coach. He's a great recruiter, but their offense is so blah, so you always have to be leery of drafting a Penn State offensive player. I see Warren, I don't watch Penn State too much anymore. I got problems with what they do down there. Okay. Yeah. It's more academically than anything else.
I got you.
Than on the football field. Anyway, but I'm always leery of drafting a Penn State offensive player number 1 for that reason alone. It just seems like their offense is, and when Joe Paterno was basically 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So it was really I mean, Joe Paterno was a great coach. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, we know what happened.
God rest
Well,
his
we all
soul.
know the whole
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
he was a great coach.
Mhm.
But that's my big thing with drafting a PSU player, offensive player, number one. You know, we've always had their linebackers were tremendous. Of course, Franco Harris is something. You know, he's just an outlier. He was just an outlier
Yeah.
altogether. I mean, I love Franco. Franco's
Yeah.
Italian Army. You're probably too young.
Hey.
You're too young. Franco's Italian Army.
Yeah,
So
I love
anyway,
that. I love Franco.
yeah. So we got, if the best. I mean, I'm not too much into this draft of players
Mhm.
anymore. I mean, I just hope they make the right decisions.
Amen.
Everybody's new regime. Well, I think that Glenn is the voice of the new regime, and he's got a specific way he wants his players. And I wouldn't be surprised if players going out the door and not being re-signed and being traded, because that's the way Parcells worked, and he's certainly an example of how that's probably going to work. So everybody shouldn't get upset because you know what? Everybody gets tied to these individual players, but you know what? You gotta face it. This team is lost. No matter what individual efforts are, they've lost as a unit. And that's how a team works. It works as a unit. So you hear all this Brees Hall talk. You hear,
Mhm.
are they going to resign Garrett Wilson? Well, we're not going to change the plan that Aaron Glenn has in his mind for his team. Okay. So don't be upset when you see players not get signed or get traded. Because if you want to win, you have to let this man, operate because he's the voice. You see it now. You see it now. He's the voice. He's got his own plan in effect, and don't get in his way. I mean, that's if he fails, he fails.
Mhm.
You know. And as far as Charles goes, I mean, I was in that chat that day, and the first thing that should have been done was they had to get in touch with his parents because he lives at
Yeah.
home. He doesn't have his. I don't know his whole situation.
Right.
But he
Yeah.
needed help from his family. It's great we have people in the chat that care, but these are family issues.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
they have to be straightened out by your family. I mean, I'm thankfully that things worked out for him, but everybody should be on the alert at any
100%.
time. Don't answer anything. Don't open up anything on your phone. Don't return anything unless you
Mhm.
positively put on your phone some kind of
Right.
thing for scamming devices because it's out there. I mean, somebody tried to get in my wife's computer a couple of years back, and
Jeez.
she's never been. And ever since then, she's never been the same as far as getting in touch with technology. The anxiety
Uh-huh.
is terrible.
Yeah.
So we all have to
It's
be
awful.
careful. Yeah,
100%.
it's. I mean, these people have to be prosecuted. I mean, I know
On,
that's
on
this one.
to the fullest extent. Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
I know this one. PBM said when he was helping Charles that it came from Nigeria. So I guess you can't do if it's out of the country. The World Wide Web is just uncontrollable.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
uncontrollable. So I just hope we're starting to build a team that's going to win, and we'll just go from there. Just have faith. Don't give up. A lot of these guys they're giving up already before the season starts. We don't have
Yeah.
Rodgers. We don't have this. We don't have that. Well, now I guess we now hear. I heard Mel Blount and Roethlisberger on their
Uh-huh.
podcast the other day.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean that's So I was listening to him. Mel Blount's definition of a great quarterback. You got to hear it.
Yeah.
This guy was tremendous, and you know what? Sad to say that Sauce Gardner does not measure up to Mel Blount standards. And you know what? Don't take my word for it. Open up the Ben Roethlisberger podcast and take a listen to Mel Blount, one of the best, the greatest defensive backs all time. Those are the guys that know. And he even tells you about the state of the current Steelers to Ben Roethlisberger.
Wow,
He's
that's
not
cool.
pleased.
Okay.
He's not pleased with a guy like Pickens.
Yeah.
That Pickens, he does a lot.
Oh boy.
The guy's immature.
Yeah.
So
drama
listen to
queen.
the guys that know. Yeah. I mean, don't call us old timers. Don't call us old. I mean, yeah, we got a lot of experience seeing ball players in the past, but that's if you don't have the certain skills, you're not a great player. You're not a great player that should be signed for $30 million. Put it that way. If you can't intercept the ball, if you can't tackle, that is not a great player. Hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not my opinion. That's the opinion of an all-time Hall of Fame player, Mel Blount. So
Right.
when
Yeah, I
we
love
draft
that.
players, the players, have to be, the organization has to really know their skills, and project long term. So let's hope everything works out. It's always good talking to you, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Appreciate you. Thanks for the insights. A couple of Penn State players that I love from yesterday. Obviously, we got Saquon Barkley, Paul Posluszny. He was great. He was awesome. A lot of really good Penn State players from yesteryear. Of Mike Munchak back in the day, a little Todd Blackledge, random guys from yesteryear of good players. I remember being high on Allen Robinson II coming out of college a bunch of years ago. Aaron Maben, Jet pass rusher for a year or two. Yeah, and Navarro Bowman was a good player. Chris Godwin, obviously, in the National Football League now. There's a bunch of names. Kerry Collins, that old bastard. Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there in the universe. All right, up next here on the show, all yoked up, James is here on the program. What's up, James?
What's up, Boy Green? How you
Good
doing?
to see you. Good to see you, man. It looks like the gym membership is working well for you, pal.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. It's all right. Not too bad. Couple things.
Mhm.
I'm not going to be disrespectful to older gentlemen,
Okay.
but Dave, first off, Penn State's offense, if you go watch some tape from last year, it was pretty damn creative. They had my guy all over the place in every position that he could possibly fill. He was doing it. So
Yeah, he was running, throwing. I mean, he was doing everything for Penn
I
State, man.
mean,
Very
yeah,
creative.
they were pretty damn creative with him last year. So this whole notion of you just hit the nail on the head, Saquon Barkley. I mean, you just ran through the list. So that's plus they are considered linebacker. They're a storied university, so I don't take any stock in that.
Yeah.
But one thing that does really bother me, man.
Okay.
What is this whole notion of don't fall in love with a prospect? Wait a second. I don't want my GM and coach taking somebody they're not absolutely in love with. What are we really talking about here? You can't marry a prospect. Oh yeah, really? So you're gonna just pick somebody that you're not too keen on? Oh, let's just take him. Maybe he'll pan out. You have to have conviction on the player you're taking. And I just hope that it's my guy. If it's Membu, again, like I've said, I'm not going to be upset with Membu, but I just think there's one true answer, and that's T Dubs, man. That's it. That's it for me.
That was someone I think yesterday that said that, Jay. I can't remember who said it, but yeah, I agree with you, man. I'm a passionate guy. I want people that you've identified this guy, and you're like, I don't give a crap what anyone else thinks. This is our guy, whoever it is, and you go get it. Yeah.
Well, agree. I just think he will just help out the offense in so many different ways. Like that, you could put him in that Kyle Juszczyk role. You could put him as a traditional tight end. You can split him out wide. You could just do so. You could do the tush push if you really wanted to. I saw a play. I was watching his highlights again last night. He was playing center all the way at he was next to the left tackle. And the whole line was to the right of him. And you could just do so many creative things. If Engstrand is going to be, if he's this great passing game coordinator like he was in Detroit, and now he's in the OC position, if he's going to be creative, this is the guy we need. He will help out in so many facets, man. That's why I'm bullish on the guy. But that's really all I got today, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, sounds good, James. Warren Warriors Unite, baby. Booyah. Here we go. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. My father. Hop on, Pop, here on a whatever day today is. Thursday? What's up, Pop?
Hey, now. Hey, I have a question.
Okay. I have a question for you first.
Okay.
What's your day this week? Saturday? Sunday? What's your day this
Saturday.
week? Okay, boom. I'll put that on my notes. Okay, go ahead. It's your turn for a question.
So I was listening to the Woody Johnny Boy Green show.
Yeah, Tuesday.
And okay. Somebody said that 12 months ago, you were saying that Sauce Gardner was a better and more prolific cornerback than Darrelle Revis.
I don't think I said that. I would not have
Well,
said that.
okay. Well,
what I will say is I have two things here. First off, unfortunately, I couldn't listen to Tuesday's show because I was at the radio station, so I watched it like a silent movie. So I got to comment in, but I couldn't listen. And I know one thing I did say, and it's facts, it's undeniable, is Sauce's first 2 years versus Revis's first 2 years. Sauce, first team All Pro corner, had more accolades and anything and everything else than Darrelle Revis. Now, obviously, Revis is a Hall of Famer in that 2009 season. It's one of the best cornerback seasons we've ever seen. But first 2 years, yes. If that's what they said, I don't know what they said, so I'm just sort of talking off of my mind. But yeah, first 2 years, Sauce was a better corner than Revis by accolades. There's no question. Yep.
Where's my cup? Where's my cup? Boron. All right, we'll move on. Hey, hey now, I would like to say that I was going to bring some draft discussion and gems to the show, but instead of that, I would like to say on April 19th, back by popular demands, will be my mock draft.
Okay,
Full
Saturday
mock
the 19th. Oh, okay. 7-round mock draft?
7-round mock draft.
Wow. Okay. All right. There's a good tease. It's 2.5 weeks out. I appreciate that. Nice. All right.
All right. So those were the two things. I had to reaffirm and validate the fact that you are a moron.
So a moron and a mock draft coming up. That's a pretty good list.
Mock draft.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
I appreciate that.
A New York Mets game today. So those
yes.
are 3 M's.
Okay. Yeah. New York Mets, Syracuse Mets have a game today too. We'll see if it plays. The weather's a little questionable, so fingers crossed. We'll see. And yeah, Terrence Hill going, Papa's a mock draft. Yes, he did it last year, and apparently it's coming back, baby. So we'll do it live on the show. It'll be the PFF mock draft simulator. My father will have it up. We'll talk about it openly as he's making his picks for the all 7 rounds, 6 rounds specifically for the Jets, 8 picks overall, unless he does some trades. God only knows. It'll be up to Pop, I guess, to pull whatever triggers he wants to pull there for sure.
Right. And I see people get fired up during the mock draft. Come in there. Your boy, whatever his name was just on, he, put some oil on himself, did a few curl ups before he called in. Right. So
James, yes.
we will load up the cage if anyone that wants to step in after the mock draft. Not to sing it, but to bring it.
Okay. So it won't but just be, here's my mock draft mic drop. God bless everybody. Peace out. Oh, you're going to take on calls. Oh, boy, that could be dangerous. Some people might have some varying opinions on that mock draft, but I respect you for, standing in the line of fire.
Yep, absolutely. And then the last thing is there'll be a 5-pack of Hop on Pops in a row starting April 12th.
Yes, I will be visiting my pop in person, so there'll be a lot of Hop on Pop shows all together. I can't wait for that. For unfortunately very sad circumstances. I'm sure we'll get into that when we get closer, but it's always, anytime with family is always special. So, Pop, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, leaving Atlanta today, and I'll see you on Saturday morning.
Okay, looking forward to it. So I guess you're about to dip. You saw this the lingo.
I'm gonna take my Riz and dip out.
Okay, that's enough of that, Pop. What the bleep? What did he look up millennialdictionary.com before he hopped on the show? Riz and dip? Oh, Jesus. Good Lord. All right, anywho, back to the phone lines here. Let's go through this guy sent in a super chat earlier. Forged Through Faith. What's up, man?
What's up, Boy Green?
Wow, okay. You are fully equipped here, my man. It's nice to meet you. Nice to make your acquaintance.
How we doing?
Excellent. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for calling on the show, man.
No problem. So I'm probably the only Jets fan that lives here in Missouri. So just wanted to update you on the tornadoes that hit down here. We got wrecked pretty good.
Yeah. It sounded like we have Badshaw who's in the chat. He's in Arkansas, and he said him and his family were pretty on tight watch last night. So, yeah, it seemed like they were rampaging through.
Yep. I just want to get your thoughts on something that Aaron Glenn said about when he was talking about our running backs. He said something about trying to get all 3 on the field at the same time. I think we could have a nice little 4-headed monster at the rushing attack this season.
It sounds like we're going back to my Oswego high school offense that is a stone throw from my house, a little wishbone action to have because that's the offense I run when I'm playing NCAA. The latest video game is I have all these triple option plays where I could fake it inside, go outside, speed ops, this, that. I mean, that would be wild to get them all on the field at the same time. But I love it because Tanner Angstrand, this guy who's coming over from the Lions, seems incredibly creative. Now, the only thing that I found really interesting about Aaron Glenn's comments is he was asked a straight up question about Brees, and then he said something nice about Brees. Then he went, "Well, we got a lot of guys in that backfield." Brought up Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen. It sounds like it will be absolutely a running back by committee, and a lot of these guys can do different things. It's going to be pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. And then one more thing. Who's your surprise pick at 7?
I think it's Mike Green, the pass rusher out of Marshall. He had 17 sacks last year. He's a dynamic player. He lit up the Senior Bowl with that one rep. I think it was Josh Connerly's the one he put on his ass, and everyone just went crazy for him months ago. I don't think edge rusher people are talking enough about, and maybe it's not Mike Green. Maybe it's Jalen Walker. Maybe it's, I don't know, Donovan Ezeraku, who I brought up earlier, because he's Aaron Glenn. We don't know what this regime's going to do. We've never seen him before. It's a brand new head coach, brand new chip. We're all making educated guesses on what we think they're going to do in the draft based on all these needs on paper. But I think that's the wild card people have to buckle their seatbelt for that may throw everyone off is a crazy defensive player. And specifically, I think it's an edge rusher. That's the wild card pick I think we could get at 7.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, Boy Green.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Forge Through Faith. Thanks for joining us on the show, man. Hope you call back in the future. Thank you so much. All right, back to the phone lines here. We've got 3 siblings. 3 siblings, are you there?
Hey, Boy Green, what's good, man?
Hey, great to have you back on the show, buddy. Yes.
Listen, you listening, sir? I had to come talk to you regarding Mr. Warren, okay?
Oh,
your buddy James.
Yes.
This chat. Listen, Warren is a good player, right? He's a good player.
All right.
He's really good.
Okay.
He's not worth the 7th overall pick. Like, taking Warren at 7 would put him in the top 5 already in his position as far as pay, right?
And that's a fair point. I just want to say that right off the top. That is a fair counterpoint because that's the conversation we don't have enough about, which is 100% true, 3 siblings, is that you draft a player and let's say they work out. What is the salary bump? Where do we go? What's the value? For instance, I heard this on I think it was on Field Yates and Mel Kiper's first draft podcast. That the gap, a highest paid right tackle in football is Lane Johnson probably. It's 27, 28 million. And Armand Membu will be at insert whatever if you as a random example, if you draft him and then you get him on value for 4 or 5 years with a 5th-year option, and then you have to pay that massive number. Right, to your point, if you take that rookie tight end and they're immediately in the top 5, you're like, I'm not getting as much value from that standpoint. Okay, so you say 7 would be too rich for Tyler Warren. Tell me, where's the first place? It doesn't matter where the Jets pick. Wherever you could pick your spot in the draft, where do you believe is the proper value for Tyler Warren if you could pick it anywhere in the draft?
No, me personally, I'm not a big draft tight end, draft a running back in the first round.
Okay.
It's just positional value, right? But
Fair.
there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's exceptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll have Brock Bowers. I wasn't really we had the 10th pick, we went to the 11th pick. I didn't want Brock Bowers also. Brock Bowers was a generational tight end. From his freshman year, playing in Georgia in SEC, going against the best schools in the whole nation, putting up 1,000 yards his freshman year. His worst year Brock Bowers had was his junior year, which is his last year, and he was hurt for half the season.
Yeah.
And he still had 800, 900 yards. He went 11th. So we're going to take Warren that had one good year, a 5th-year senior. 5th-year guy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense to me at this point. Like you said earlier today, Boy Green, something I've been thinking about for a while too. But edge is a sneaky position we need to look into. I would prefer taking it. I would rather take the second best edge than taking the first best tight end. I'd rather take the second best tackle than the first best tight end. I'd rather take the first receiver than the first tight end. It's about positional value, man. You can get tight ends in the 2nd, 3rd round. These Gronks, these Hernandez, these McBrides, these Laporters. These are second, third round guys. Like they're not 7 overall picks. Like you have to. Our plan is not to pick this high again, right? That's
I
our
hope
plan,
not. Yeah, right.
right?
For
So
goodness
like
sake, yeah.
as a premium pick, you cannot take a tight end. Like, come on. Like even let's just say Ted is a number 2 receiver, right?
Uh-huh.
Today, this year, T. Higgins, number 2 receiver, got 4 years, 115 million. They are highly valuable still, even as a number 2 receiver, especially if he complements our number 1 receiver, who's a under 6 foot guy, 4'3"
Mm-hmm.
guy. Having a 6'5", 6'4" guy to complement that at a premium position is way better than drafting a tight end. I'd rather the tackle. I'd rather Tet. I'd rather Green than Warren. And that's how I feel, man. I'm sorry. Thank you for your time. But you guys just, because you see a name, oh, I like John Riggins. Like, come on. Like, listen, he's a tight end. He's good, but he's not worth the 7th pick. Like, you can pick him in mid first round. I see him mocked a lot to the Colts. It's not the
Yeah,
Jets.
14. Yep.
Like, not the 7th pick. Thank you, Boy Green, for my rant.
Okay.
Hope you
Yeah.
have a great day. Thank you, Chad.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Three Siblings. Yeah, a lot of people are agreeing with your point. Three Siblings and on point. Exactly. Three Sibs, 100 emoji and all that stuff. I love that we could have on the show James, who's so passionate about Tyler Warren Warriors, and Three Siblings going, absolutely, that would be not the right pick. I love that. Hey, that's what this draft season's all about. Back to the phone lines. Got NY Jets FL, baby. Backwards cap. Nice. What's popping? Hey, your audio is kind of cutting in and out. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'm going to drop you out real quick. Try to see if you can kind of come in, come back out. There's something going on there. I'm missing your audio there, NY Jets FL. So come in, come back out. We'll bring you on the show. Can't hear you, pal. We got another caller waiting. We'll get back to you, NY Jets FL. Johnny Boy here on the program. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, what's going on, bro? Hey, shout out to Jay, man, because that's exactly how I've been feeling. So he already knows what time it is.
There you go.
But I wanted to kind of bring this up to you.
Okay.
Did you see the stuff that's going on with Trey Henderson?
Oh, yeah, I saw on the pat. I didn't get to hear it all because I was doing the Syracuse Mets game yesterday. But, yeah, I heard that he was on there and he complained about how things are going in Cincinnati. Yeah, that sounds, sounds messed up. So they should probably just trade his ass.
Well, the GM, I guess, or the VP or whoever it is, and one of the owners pretty much came out and was like, he needs to shut his mouth and be happy.
And just be happy with the price. I saw that. Oh God, that was a terrible move. Yeah.
Now the reason I asked that, right? He's still pretty young, right? And we are going. I think we would need an edge guy, right? Or maybe whatever his position is, DT. What would it take to make that trade happen?
Let me see. So I know Trey Hendrickson's older. Let me just get his age in front of me here.
I think he's 30, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right. He's 30, right on the button. So he's 30. You have to immediately pay him, so you have to sort of factor that in. I'm sure the Bengals would want a 1 or a 2. I'd probably be at a 3, and then let's heavy negotiate.
Perfect.
I don't that's what I would say. 73 is valuable to me, but we have to pay him immediately. He's 30. They would probably ask for 7, and I would say no. They'd ask for 42. I'm like, no. From where we are, 42 could be a young starter for many years if you hit that right. I would offer them 73, and we could talk about it. And if that's not interesting, all right, sorry, pal. Because, again, we talked about it earlier. Edge rusher is a sneaky need people are not talking about.
Yes, Jay hit it pretty much, and that's exactly what he's proven. You already know what you're going to get with him.
Mm-hmm.
You can potentially get 3 to 5 years out of the dude because he's only 30.
Yeah, very talented guy. Yeah, he led the league at sacks last year. I mean, terrific.
And seems like he's an actual Glenn guy, right? Which we don't really know what a Glenn guy is yet, but I'm just going to go out there and say he's a Glenn guy. A third is exactly where I was going at with it. I think they would be able to talk. But I wanted to get your thoughts in regards to that.
Yeah.
I mean, would we entertain that? and what would it take? Appreciate you, BG.
Thanks, Johnny, for the call. And sorry to NY Jets FL. Apparently, he won't be able to come on the show today because of his Wi-Fi situation. Real quick on Trey Hendrickson, and then we'll wrap up the show here, and then we'll be back live at 3 o'clock. Trey doesn't feel like... So let me redo this all around. Trey Hendrickson himself, the player being as dynamic as he is, would be a wonderful Aaron Glenn guy on the surface, just surface level. Trey Hendrickson, really good. Aaron Glenn, defensive guy. How could they not get along? Makes a lot of sense. The Jets have, I think it's 5 players that are 30 or older on the roster. 5 on the entire roster. Like, they are going in a different direction. So that would surprise me if, one, they traded for Trey Hendrickson because of age. Number 2, you'd have to give him immediate extension, where while Trey said he didn't want to be the highest paid guy in the league at pass rusher, which good. That's good to hear that he doesn't want to be that. It's still going to be significant money, very significant. Are the Jets going to pay that? They don't want to make this play. I don't know. That would surprise me. It'd be cool. I think Trey Hendrickson is a really good player, but if I'm being candid, it would surprise me for the age, the contract you'd have to give up, the pick you would have to give up. For all of those reasons, I just don't think it's going to happen. But I like the thought, though. But again, for me, if we're negotiating, I'm like, I'll give you a 3. I'll give you 73. And they're like, no way. And I'm like, all right, I guess you're not going to make a deal with us. Make a deal with a contender. Maybe that'll be better. Good shout out here by Brian Farrell. Pick up Kyle Mungahai, the running back out of Rutgers. Absolutely litty. I heard Connor Rogers give him a shout out on the favorite day 3 prospects on Stick to Football, not Stick to Football. Jesus, that's dating me. The NFL Stock Exchange, excuse me, as a late round pick, great pass protector, muscle hamster build, like hell yeah. So yeah, Kyle Mungahai. Shout out to you out of Rutgers. Smaller guy, but well compact. Muscles on muscles. That'd be a wonderful ad for the New York Jets, either late round draft pick or an undrafted free agent. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you for everybody on the Trey Hendrickson question. Very interesting. I love it. Folks, we're going to be back on in a couple hours at 3 o'clock. I'll be at the radio station, but I'm bringing the gear with me. We'll be live at 3 o'clock. Myself and James Woody talking about the top 5 draft needs coming up for the New York Jets ahead of the 2025 NFL draft. And again, I will tell you right now, spoiler alert, edge rusher is going to be pretty high on that list for the things that we're not talking about. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like the video, hit subscribe, and make sure you support the show. Appreciate you guys. Peace.